let's talk about my favorite thing in the world, fabric. Now, if you're going to sew, you're going to develop a absolute love relationship with fabric. You're going to love touching it, looking at it. It's wonderful. I love fabric. I love the potential of fabric. I love that we can turn it into something to express our artistic selves. So the first thing you need to know is that there are two types of fabric. That's really it. Now, within those two types of fabric, there's dozens and dozens of different other types of fabric, but there are two main types of fabric that you need to know about to get started. The first is woven, and the other is knit. Now, this just refers to the way in which the threads come together to make the fabric. Woven fabric typically doesn't really have a lot of stretch because when the fabric is created through the threads, it's woven like you would see on a loom. So you have threads going this way and you have threads going this way, and they like weave together like that. Let's see if I can make my fingers look. There we go. So they're woven together. If you were to enlarge a section of this fabric, you would see the threads going this way and then the threads woven through like this going the other way. And we'll talk about, there's names for those threads, there's reasons why that's important, but we don't have to worry about that yet. So the second fabric, knit fabric. If you've ever seen somebody knit something, they take a needle, they loop the thread, the yarn around, and they loop it off, and it just makes these loops. And that's how the fabric is formed, through loops. And knit fabric is really stretchy. It's gonna stretch. It's what you make like t-shirts out of, leggings, anything like that. Woven fabric is typically much easier to get started on because it doesn't stretch. Knit fabric, sometimes you have to have special needles in your sewing machine. It also can kind of jam up your sewing machine, the knit fabric, and just entry-level sewing machines don't always love to sew knit fabric, and there are tips and tricks that I'm going to teach you, but we are going to start with woven fabric. Even though that seems like it doesn't make sense, like why would we start with something that isn't stretchy? That sounds like it'd be harder. That is what we're going to start with. So, Fabric 101, you've got your woven fabric and you've got your knit fabric. Woven fabric, the threads are woven together. Knit fabric, they're knit on a machine, but the same, if you unraveled this or looked at it under a magnifying glass, it would look the same as my sweater, where you can see all the loops and everything knit together. So woven, not stretchy, knit, stretchy.